Hey everyone, welcome back to Ape Century here. Today we're going to talk about Survivor 50, Episode 5. So let's get straight into this. So, right off the bat, we get back from Tribal Council, and Ozzy is ticked, right, that Mike is voted out. And really, that's the major theme of this episode, right? Is that Ozzy was left out of the vote by Christian and Emily. And he kind of knew that they were going to go Mike, but he was never told explicitly, and so he didn't even want Mike to leave. So he was really mad when he got back to Tribal, and when they got back from Tribal and got back to the camp, and they have this whole thing at the fire. Well, so Christian and they all say their points about why they did it, and then Ozzy's like, yeah, I hear you, but not really. And fast forward later to where Ozzy's meditating on the beach and Christian is sitting with them, and Christian apologizes for leaving him out, and they try to hug it out. And Ozzy's contemplating if he still wants to vote Christian out or not. And it's crazy to me because it's like, it's not even like Christian targeted him. Maybe indirectly because he was part of life, but here's the thing, right? Ozzy has been with Christian since the beginning. They've gone to every tribal council together. They've avoided elimination. They have survived every time together. And they've been together since the beginning, like I said. Ozzy only wanted to be with Mike. He only wanted to use Mike for himself. He was being selfish. And to think that he would value Mike, right, more than being with Christian, it just doesn't make any sense. And so then there's the immunity challenge, and we do find out that two tribes will be going tribal. Only one tribe is going to win immunity. So lo and behold, it's Kahlo, which I actually thought, because I kind of have a tick now for guessing who's going to win, because you can kind of tell. So when they're talking about, sometimes like in the beginning of the episode, they'll go to different camps and they'll talk about a potential vote. Uh, and that's kind of a clue about where things could head. But at Kahlo, they didn't. They were talk. Remember when in Kahlo we got coach was giving players nicknames, so that wasn't the vote. Which, by the way, the whole thing about that, the whole coach thing, I don't buy it. I don't read too much into it, and uh, again, it's just who coach has always been. He's been doing this since Tocantins, so um, some people are having fun with it. I really couldn't care less. So, but again, they weren't talking about a potential vote, so I kind of figured that they were going to win. Plus, I believe they're like the ones who have always been winning, right? That like 6 of the 7 people on that tribe have not gone to a tribal council. The only one from that tribe who has is Joe. So there's 17 players remaining, and 6 of the 17 still haven't gone to tribal council. So that means 11 people have. That's interesting, I think. Anyway, Kala wins, so we know the other two are going to go to tribal council. It's not a big surprise, right, that Thela is once again going back. They're at this point they had 5, and now they're going to go down to 4, right? So they have to try to figure out. So the big thing here, right, is Ozzy is thinking about getting rid of Christian. So he asked Christian for his shot in the dark, right? And I have some people have asked, like, could Ozzy have used that for himself, Christian shot in the dark? Um, no, I don't believe it's transferable. So what I gathered was that Christian can lend it to him for collateral, temporarily, for trust, what have you, and then um, Ozzy can give back to who he wants to. You can only use your own. So even if he gets Christians, he can't use Christians. You know what I mean? So there's that. Some people have asked, well, then why would he give it to him? Again, I think it's a saying of trust. I really think that if Christian didn't do that here, I don't even know if he would have stayed. I mean, that's how serious this was from Ozzy. And we even we got a flashback here in South Pacific that Ozzy felt the same way. So I thought that this was big from him, right? And so he gets the shot in the dark, and then we know that Christian and Emily were gonna go Angelina. They told Angelina they were gonna go Steph, but they were never gonna go Steph. What's interesting here is that Angelina did go Steph. And it makes you wonder if Christian and Emily, they could have gone Steph, but I don't think they were going to. I think Stephanie's Byron challenges, Angelina, they were just wanting her out of the game. What's interesting though, and no one has talked about this, is that Emily did vote Angelina, and they kind of had a close moment on the show where they talked about wanting to work together and everything. Maybe it just never panned out. Maybe it's because they went to Tribal too many times that Emily just valued working with Christian and Ozzy more. I think another big piece of why Ozzy decided to go with Emily and Christian is because he's friends with Emily and wants to work with her. So he has this moment where he says to Emily, you should get rid of Christian for your game because you two are seen as a pair. Whereas if me and you were together, we wouldn't be seen as a likely pair. Again, I think that's just Ozzy talking about how he's scared of Christian and he wants to be someone's number one. He doesn't want like a three or whatever. He just really doesn't like Christian. But I think ultimately, which was cut out, and that I believe Emily said, no, we got to keep Christian here, and I'll be ticked if we get rid of him. So I think that's what swayed Ozzy to eventually side with them. And I also think at Tribal Council he made his decision too. And so we do eventually see that the four of them actually do end up voting out Angelina. We think at this moment where Angelina is saying goodbye to everybody and is about to have her torch snuffed, and then she decides to give her jacket to, I believe Emily has it. And that's a callback to David vs. Goliath, which is a pretty fun moment, and obviously one of the most talked about in the season and recently. So it just was a full circle moment that it worked out. I thought it was great. I thought it showed that she was kind. Now, and then we get to the second Tribal Council where actually before that I should also mention how Jeff did his impersonations, right? So he impersonated three people. He did Jonathan. He did with like the whole Mr. Jeff thing, and I think he had it at first and then he lost it. I actually think that was the weakest of his three impressions. He then did Colby, and I thought that was pretty good, right? And then he did Christian, and I thought that was spot on. And Christian took it well and didn't push back on it, so I think he did well there. We then get to where the second Tribal Council, where this is Vaatu, I believe, Jonathan's tribe, and so the whole thing about this, which has been it's been a theme throughout multiple episodes now, this Rizzo and Charlie back and forth, right? So basically here, Charlie's going to go Rizzo, Rizzo's going to go Charlie. So Rizzo is at camp trying to gather people for his squad to make this vote. He ends up getting Cirie, and he and Cirie exchange valuable information. Some people have said that this is not typical of Cirie, and that it was big for her. Then he gathers Dee, and we don't know where Camilla's going to go yet. Then Charlie has Jonathan and Rick. And again, we don't know where Camilla's going to go. She's essentially the swing vote. And there is a moment where Charlie, dead middle of the night, wakes up Rizzo, or as Rizzo's waking up, and starts asking him a question. It was kind of creepy, and I watched his exit interview about it, and he basically said that he doesn't remember why he did it at that time of the day. I don't know if I buy that. I think maybe he was the first person he wanted to talk to and tried to get to Rizzo first, whatever the case. So anyway, and then we get to the tribal council, and they do the questions, and then Camilla does decide to vote out Charlie and go with the girls and Rizzo. And I agree that I think this is, because I've seen some rhetoric online, this, that, and the other, about how basically if Camilla would have went with the guys, Rick, Charlie, Jonathan, it would essentially been the same as her experience in 48. And I don't think she wanted to repeat that. I think she likes chaos. I think she wants more chaos as a player. And so I ultimately think that that's why she chose that. There was a scene where Rizzo tells Camilla about Kyle as he was departing, like, hey, work with Camilla. And it seems like Camilla saw right through it, but decided to err on the side of caution, end up working with him. So, yeah, that was the episode. I thought it was great, and we'll see what happens next week. Apparently, there's something about drop your buffs and either a possible merge or tribe swap. We'll have to see. And so stay tuned for episode 6. All right. Take care.